a just transition to net zero.
Now, I mean, impact investing, as you say, the concept is established, but how do you measure whether it's actually something is actually having a positive impact?
Precisely, and that's the point. And that's why the Just Transition Finance Challenge isn't just about a huge number, it's actually about a commitment to measure outcomes over a sustainable basis. And we're looking at measuring outcomes on three measures: the criteria around climate and environmental action, socioeconomic equity and distribution, and making sure there's a community voice. And what we'll be doing, along with 18 other organizations with the help of Deloitte, is putting together the sort of framework of criteria that enables us to show a genuine intent and outcome around this investment.
And these would be globally binding standards?
That's a great question. I mean, we're very supportive of convergence around global standards. What we're going to do is we're going to harness available standards and frameworks from around the world, but bring them to a specific focus on the just transition. You'd be surprised to know that actually we can't find anywhere in the world a standard that combines all three things in a simple, straightforward framework that people can use and is understandable to the people who own the assets, the actual people who have the money. So by looking across the world and finding out the right frameworks and standards, we're going to come up with a set of criteria along these three particular headings. We're then going to put it out to public consultation. We engage very strongly in Europe and with the international standard setters, and we're hoping by doing this unique pioneering work in the area of impact, which goes beyond ESG, we're hoping that that will be a really valuable contribution to the international standards. It builds on work that we did with 38 countries last year, actually. While the UK was the presidency of the G7, we co-led an impact task force, and we had 38 contributions. And the desire for a label for some criteria came from around 110 different institutions saying this would be really additive in the world of international finance.
That's very interesting. I mean, from what you're saying, it sounds as though the impetus for this is coming from the asset managers themselves rather than the owners of the capital.
It's coming from both. And if we look at the people who've signed up to work with us on the standard, we have both represented. We also have development finance organisations such as the British Investment Institution and also FSD Africa Investment. So you've got public, development, private finance working together, and you've got asset owners as well as asset managers and financiers involved.
Do you think there's a trade-off between impacts and returns on capital? I mean, you've talked in the past about there being a sort of sliding scale on this basis.
You're well remembered, that's true. There is definitely an option to give a trade-off, but actually there is so much opportunity to invest for purpose and for outcomes at the moment. You don't need to make a trade-off on risk or return if you don't want to. That applies in the domestic investment arena as well as internationally. But obviously some philanthropic investors may choose to make that trade-off, but there's no need to do it.
Which governments around the world do you think are doing the best job of encouraging impact investing?
That's a great question. If you move to impact, I think there's no one government doing the best. If you look at the way in which certain financial services policies are developed around the world, you've got countries like New Zealand, for example, that have been pioneers. In Europe, you've got a huge amount of work looking at taxonomy and the technical detail of reporting. You've got general support at a state level in the United States for certain types of disclosures. I don't think there's one country that stands out. The UK was a pioneer, if you go back almost 20 years, and has constantly tried to encourage through policy and other initiatives that impact investing is something that's part and parcel of the UK investment framework.
You take a step back from all this. I mean, there are a lot of people who voted for politicians like Jeremy Corbyn in this country who are sceptical that capital can be a cause for good. What would you say to them to persuade them otherwise?
Well, first of all, I think healthy skepticism is really valuable. You want transparency. I was going to say sunlight on this, but possibly not today. But you want healthy skepticism. And you want people to say, prove to me that mobilizing capital at scale doesn't have unintended consequences. That's why thinking about a label, individual organizations and asset owners signing up to say, yes, we will abide by these criteria. That's why it's so important. And frankly, I think healthy skepticism and challenge keeps the industry stronger. And I welcome it. I say healthy, though. I think a deep distrust that private capital can do no good is damaging because it undermines the fact that there isn't enough public capital in the world to do what we need to do in the time frame we need to do it to achieve a just transition to net zero. So we have to find ways of working together. And that's true whether it's at a government level or a municipal level, and for capital to be accountable for the outcomes that it delivers.
All right, Dame Elizabeth Cawley, we have to leave it there, I'm afraid. Good to talk to you this morning. Best of luck with the event.
Thank you.
Now, when P&O Ferries sacked 800 staff in March, it caused uproar, and even the Prime Minister was calling for the company's chief executive to resign. It also had the unexpected consequence of hitting the reputation of P&O Cruises. The company might be similar in name, but it isn't linked to P&O Ferries. The company hasn't had to just deal with that case of mistaken identity in recent months, but also rising fuel prices. So how's business now? Well, joining me now is Paul Ludlow. He's president of P&O Cruises. Paul, welcome to you. I mean, that whole P&O Ferries episode must have been immensely frustrating for you. I mean, you took out adverts in all the newspapers to make clear that you weren't related to them.
Yeah, good morning. Yes, it was frustrating. We are a very different company. We haven't been linked in any way for well over 20 years. Yeah, it was frustrating, but it was a bit of an opportunity for us. It gave us an opportunity to get out there and talk to people about our differences and why cruise holidays are such a great choice. And in the recent months that have followed, business couldn't be better. We've seen more new customers come into our brand, P&O Cruises, than pre-pandemic. So actually, these things sometimes turn out to be helpful in a strange way.
It's good to hear. So how are your summer bookings looking?
Summer bookings are very, very strong. I think the travel chaos at airports, the cost of living crisis has all led people to P&O Cruises and the cruise industry. I think the ease of starting your holiday from Southampton and the incredible value for money that we offer. I think people are now desperate to get away and they can count on us. And with incredible images that you're showing right now, what's not to love? I think cruising has never been more appealing. And as a result, P&O Cruises is doing very, very well.
Now, when we last spoke, you were preparing for the launch of Iona, which is the UK's biggest cruise ship. What proportion of new bookings is that accounting for right now?
Yeah, so Iona's our newest ship in the fleet. She's heading to Norway right now. We've seen about 50% of her guests being new to cruise, which is slightly more, but not too different from the fleet average. We're welcoming thousands of people onto their first cruises this summer, and of course, many of our past passengers coming back as well. So really, people are desperate to get away, and I think cruise is very in vogue at the moment.
How are you managing with inflation and in particular higher fuel costs?
Yeah, you know, there are cost pressures on our business, as there are many businesses across the UK. We're fortunate that we're seeing great demand at the moment, and that's helping to obviously offset some of those costs. We are also offering an array of activities on board of our ships, which people can choose to pay for. Again, that's helping us to improve our revenue lines even further. So I think due to the demand that we're seeing, things are good. And of course, we have the economies of scale to ensure we can try to keep those price points low for our customers.
I imagine demand is fairly inelastic, though. I mean, if you're determined to take a cruise, you're not going to mind paying a few quid more.
No, right. Obviously, though, our guests have got used to paying great fares, seeing that great value for money. But of course, the world around them, prices are increasing exponentially right now. And so, they recognise that there will be some small ticket price increases. But still, I think that versus the rest of the holiday market at the moment, cruise just stands out in terms of the value that it offers.
You mentioned just now the chaos at airports. Are you actually seeing new customers for the first time, people that are new to the business as a result of all this?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I think that airport chaos that people are, fearful of right now is driving business in our direction. Some stories of people being cancelled on their holidays and they get to the gate. For us, they've been able to count on us this summer, then count on us into the future. And I think that's definitely driving new business.
And what about the labour market? Obviously, it's a pretty tight market right now. Have you encountered any staff shortages?
I think at the start of the summer period, we had some temporary challenges, which was a little restrictive in what we were able to do. But as we've moved through that, we've managed to get on top of that labour challenge. And I think for this summer and into the autumn, we're looking in good shape.
All right, Paul Ludlow, good to talk to you this morning. Thanks very much indeed.
Thank you.
Well, still to come here on Ian King Live. We'll have a look at how global markets are doing this Monday morning. Don't go away.
And it was 1989 in Australia. And some guy was trying to take me out for a meal, and he was carrying on for a few months to get me out. Anyway, in the end, I said, okay, let's go out for a meal, and no funny business. And when we were there, we got to the restaurant, and I went to use the bathroom, and I forgot my bag. And when I came back, his hand was hovering, and he moved it really quickly. And I thought, he's done something to my drink. So I picked up my bag, I went into the bathroom, and I thought, I'm going to do like a James Bond style and swap the drinks when I go back. But I didn't. I climbed out of a little window and ran for my life, and I never saw that guy again. So
lucky escape.
Even back in 1989, I knew that this was happening. Now, thank goodness for all the brave victims who stepped forward, and thank goodness for social media, because I've been campaigning for nearly 2 decades now, banging on the doors of the authorities to say to them, look, this is a real problem. But because of the drugs and because people have no memory what's happened to them, it does make the police's job really difficult. And with students, it's very prevalent. They could use Rohypnol, GHB, GBL. They could use prescription drugs like the temazepam family.
Right, so things that will just knock you out entirely.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. And they'll leave you with no memory of what's happened to you. You'll become compliant, you'll leave with the assailant, and then, like I say, you'll be left with no memory of what's happened to you.
Well, the euro has staged a rally on foreign exchange markets following last week's moves in which it went below parity with the US dollar. At the moment, the single currency is more than 0.5% higher against the greenback. Meanwhile, the pound is up against both of them. Sterling currently trading nearly 0.9% ahead against the US dollar. It's 1/5% up right now against the euro. On the equity markets, stocks on the Asia-Pacific region had a strong session overnight following Friday evening's gains on Wall Street. Hong Kong finished ahead by nearly 2.75%, and Shanghai was up by more than 1.5%, but there were also gains in Tokyo, Mumbai and in Sydney. Well, in Europe, stocks have also been trading to the upside so far this morning. Here's the current picture. All of the main continental European indices in positive territory, and it's a similar situation here in London as well. The FTSE 100 currently nearly 1.5% higher right now in a broad-based rally. The biggest gainer in percentage terms in the FTSE right now is the oil and gas company Harbour Energy, which is up 4.25% after receiving a push from one of the brokers. The biggest faller is the insurer Admiral. The shares off nearly 6% there right now. That follows a profits warning from its smaller rival Direct Line, which, as you can see on the screen there now, is off some 12.5%. It was off 14% earlier on. Aviva is also off by 0.5% in sympathy. Outside the FTSE 100, the gaming technology group Playtech is ahead at the moment by nearly 6%. That is as the market is awaiting takeover developments. But the infrastructure and engineering services group Hill and Smith, you can see there, the shares off by just over 1.5%. That is following the unexpected resignation of its chief executive. Meanwhile, the oil price is higher right now. That is reflecting concerns over tightness in supply. Those have reasserted themselves following last week's sell-off. All, of course, fell last week for the 5th consecutive week. Barrel of Brent crude currently is trading at $103.35 a barrel. That is up a little over 2%. Well, joining me now is John Wynne Evans. He's Head of Investment Strategy at Investec Wealth and Investment. John, welcome to you. Awful lot of data came out of the US towards the tail end of last week. What did we learn from it?
Yes, good morning, Ian. Yes, as you say, there's quite a lot of numbers out in the US on Friday. It was a bit of a mixed bag in many respects. We had, for example, the Empire Manufacturing Survey, which was a little bit better than expected, but the outlook within it was slightly more disappointing. We had retail sales in the US that beat expectations, but again, if you look at them in real terms as opposed to nominal terms, they don't look quite so good because there's quite a big price effect in there. Industrial production was a little bit lower than expected, but I think the one that caught everyone's eye was the University of Michigan Consumer Sentiment Survey. So the sentiment itself was slightly better than it was last month, but the key data within that was the inflation expectations element, and that actually came down a little bit. So on the 1 year range, it came down from 5.3 to 5.2%, but in the 5 to 10 year range, it came down from 3.1 to 2.8%. You might recall that last month it was the fact that that number was a lot higher than expected, which seems to have spooked the Fed into going with a 75 basis point rise last time round rather than 50. Now this time round, after the CPI data last week, the market was a bit concerned that it might go straight for a full 1% at July's meeting, but those expectations were tempered back a little bit on Friday towards the 75% basis point rise again. So that's, I think, why the market had a little bit of a better tone to it on Friday.
Yes, Bank of Canada, of course, went by 1% last week, didn't they? We actually get a policy decision from the European Central Bank this week. Is this the moment where they finally start raising interest rates?
It's almost nailed on, I would say, at this particular point, but it's still not very much. The expectation is for a quarter point rise. And the extraordinary thing is here, that'll take it from minus 0.5% to minus 0.25%. So still negative interest rates in the European banking system. And that's against a background of inflation that's running at over 8% at the moment. And obviously an economy which is struggling quite a lot with the energy crisis in Europe right now. So the ECB has some difficult decisions to make. But as we've seen with the weakness of the euro, they really have to do some catching up in terms of raising rates now. So they'll definitely start this week.
All right, absolutely. I mean, John, big couple of weeks ahead of us for corporate earnings. The Wall Street banks kicked us off last week. What in particular are you looking out for?
Yes, I mean, in terms of earnings, there's still not a lot due in the UK this week, so our focus will be on the US and in Europe once more. And so far, I mean, we're seeing some downgrades to expectations of earnings, but nothing dramatic, and people are still looking for a reasonable amount of earnings growth this year. And obviously that's the shoe that everyone's waiting for to drop at the moment in terms of kind of the market and market sentiment. And it may well be that the second quarter earnings themselves aren't too bad, but the devil might be in the detail on the outlook for the rest of the year, particularly in terms of margins. And we've seen a couple of companies already, for example, Fever Tree in the UK at the end of last week, which had some good revenues, but the costs were going up quite sharply. So you may see sort of further evidence of that. I think in terms of this week, I mean, we've got more US banks out today. We've got Goldman Sachs and Bank of America reporting. I think for us, some big interesting companies reporting later in the week will be things like Johnson & Johnson in the US, big consumer health and healthcare company, and ASML in Europe as well. That's the company that makes all the kit that goes into fabricating semiconductors. So hopefully we'll get some comment on how things are developing in the semiconductor market and what the lookout is there for supply. But I suspect the biggest airtime will be given to companies like Tesla, for example, which reports later in the week, and also Twitter, given what's going on there between Elon Musk and Twitter. And also Netflix reports later this week. And obviously with the problems they've had earlier in the year with loss of subscribers, it'll interesting to see whether the cost of living crisis is forcing people to turn down their subscriptions on these sorts of services.
Absolutely.
All ladies, you are invited to our premier 13th annual Women's Conference, Lady to Lady Global Conference 2022. Theme, Joy. Date, Saturday, 30th July. Doors open at 11 a.m. Venue, Fairview's Concert Halls, the Phoenix Theater, Croydon, CR91DG3, United Kingdom. Register on www.ladytoladyglobal.org. Music Minister, CLC Healing Voices. Simeon. Queenie, Ada Ahi.
Congratulations, I have seen the glory of God.
Conference speakers, Reverend Betty King, Pastor Marjorie, Pastor Sandra.
I did come to Lady, and from that day onwards, my life has never been the same.
See you there.
Welcome to Gabby Dave Global. We are a UK-based online e-commerce store, the first of its kind with license to trade in African products. Some of the products are clothing brands and all beauty accessories, hair and beauty brands, natural aphrodisiacs, processed and dried unprocessed food, Our mission at Gabby Dave is to connect African and Caribbean businesses to customers globally. At Gabby Dave, we ensure our sellers get the best deal for their products. We are not just here to help you reach a wider audience. We are also a distribution center to support business growth by fulfilling orders to your customers from our warehouse, making sure customers receive their products on time. We are inviting all Black-owned businesses to trade on our platform because we strongly believe Africans have a unique brand the customer would appreciate globally. So get in touch today and let us make your product and business go far. Here are some of the benefits of using Gabby Dave Global. User-friendly platform, track your shipment, online support, transparent process, multiple SKUs, multiple products, a platform that encourages manufacturers as well as traders. Our marketing and PR interventions amplifies yours. Organized products and categories for easy access and navigation. Access to global community, especially within UK and Europe.
From SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Starr, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of a prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination in time. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820. Or you can visit our website www.welllamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamp@gmail.com. Well Lamb Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
Hi there. Are you dreaming of owning your own house in Ghana? Then you will need a well-documented piece of land that is free from troubles. I highly recommend My Africa Property for any size of land that you will need. With My Africa Property, lands are available in Pram, Sopoli, Tohenia, Ogome, Dodova, Winneba, and many other locations at affordable prices. These locations are about an hour away from the airport, only 35 minutes from the motorway, 10 minutes drive from Central University College, 10 minutes drive to the beach, and close to Prum Prum Senior High School and Ghana Men's Soccer Center of Excellence. For more details, visit our website www.myafricaproperty.com or call our UK office on 0208 123 2523. For our US and Canada offices, call us on +1 585 184 994145. You can also email us at ghana@myafricaproperty.com.
Tune in to On Point here on Star Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Check me out. He tells me my energy is making him tired.
Yes!
How do you get the energy to do
I've been told that I have a lot of energy, but my goodness, I think today I have met my match, people. I have met my match, Miss Suzanne. Wow, amazing.
One of the things that's the start of the darkness. Of darkness.
So what did that
myself and the world will adjust. And 2019,
Forget the proverbial boardroom. Join me, Simone Frazier, on The CEO, the program that gives you the driving seat over your life. Every Tuesday, 8 p.m. only on Star Radio.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Body, it's your man. Bekutu, show them you got the cocoa set. Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy Harry Song, aka Mr. Songs. This is the Kingmaker Baba for the girls. We're here. This is Star Radio. Don't go nowhere. UK, London. We they call them London for home. For here, we they call them London. And I sabi you know, just have fun and stay blessed.
Hi there, this is CJ Buckman, your life coach. And whenever I'm in London, I listen to Star Radio UK right here. But guess what? You can listen to wherever you are.
Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
All around the world. In your car.
At work.
At home.
On your smartphone.
This is Star Radio UK. Are you ready to turn it up?
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Smile, though your heart is aching. Smile even though it's breaking. When there are clouds in the sky, you get by. If you smile through your fear and sorrow, smile and maybe tomorrow you find that life is still worthwhile if you just smile. Hey, this is Archie and you are listening to Star Radio UK and the Morning Show.
like saying there is nobody, nothing, between nothing and anything between nothing.
Are you ready to turn it up? In your car,
At work,
at home,
on your smartphone.
Come on. Come on. I see you.
A massive good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good dawn to you wherever you might be on planet Earth, and those of you on other planets as well. We want to salute you all and we want to welcome you to the Monday edition of the morning show. Today is the 18th day of July, the year 2022, with the time now exactly at 10:44 from the heart of London.
There is nothing my God can't do. There is nothing my God can't do.
I remain yours sincerely, the one and only Archie, and this morning I'm here to bring you the morning show. Of course, I'm your host. But I'm saying good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good dawn to you once again. And those of you on other planets as well, we salute each and every one of you, and we say, God bless you, and thank you very much for joining us. Let me say morning to my team this morning. To the one and only Mr. Olayomi HRH Linda Pallien as well. And to my able producer Mr. Francis Guy, massive good morning to you. I also want to extend my morning greetings to my colleague Mr. Frank Davis, working behind the scenes. Don't you worry, he's been working behind the scenes for some time now. We're going to be telling you more about that. But let me say a special good morning to Shamsuddin Oladipupo. Says Yoruba Nation we want. And Oshijo Babatunde. Good morning to you. No going back, Yoruba Nation will want. Yes. Share the broadcast with your friends and loved ones and invite them to like our pages as well. Okay, because of the late start of the program, let me tell you what's going to happen today. For those of you who have joined us for the first time on this journey, I'm going to bring you the quote of the day, the weather forecast will follow suit, then the travel update as well. Move on from there to have a look at some of the stories making the rounds across the globe. Then at 11 o'clock exactly, we have Olayomi joining in to bring you updates from Nigeria. The program continues. So 12 o'clock when I open the lines for you to add your voice to the discussions. As I've been saying since last week, we're having some technical upgrades going on. And therefore at 12:30 we'll bring the program to a close for the continuation of the technical upgrades. But tomorrow, Tuesday, there's not going to be any live shows on Starr Radio UK because of those upgrades. God willing, we hope that the technical team will be able, with the hot weather and everything, finish what they are doing so that Wednesday morning will be on. But whatever it is, just stay tuned, don't you go away. I'm going to make your morning. I'm going to make your day. But let me say a special good morning and happy birthday to Mrs. Evelyn Tabiri. Yeah, baby. Good morning to you. I hope you are doing very well. And to every one of you celebrating your birthdays here or wherever, I salute you. Omo Baba Onilu Fetu. I can't pronounce, I don't want to massacre your name, But Omo Baba, good morning to you. Say Yoruba Nation now, no going back, Yoruba Nation. I'm an honorary member of the Yoruba Nation, you know. Yeah, you can join in as well. But share the broadcast with your friends and loved ones. And I promise you, yes, I will acknowledge you as well. Well, people think that things cannot happen, but someone say that, well, things can happen, and therefore, whatever it is, don't give up hope, don't lose up, just continue keeping on. The most important part of every human resource is the brain or your mind. What are you feeding your mind? Are you feeding it with can't do? No, change it and fill it with can do. All right. That is by way of the quote for the day. Now, when it comes to the weather, for those of you in London and southeast of England, I think my listeners in the UAE and the Middle East and some part of Africa will be experiencing this kind of weather. Well, for London and southeast of England, this is how the weather is going to be for you today. Yes, today will be a dry, fine, and exceptionally hot day. There will be plenty of summer sunshine and just a few patches of cloud developing through the afternoon. And tonight, late spells of sunshine will turn a little hazy. Overnight skies will remain mostly clear, but some patchy cloud will drift in at times, feeling uncomfortably warm. Top temperature is going to be 38 degrees. My apologies, and the lowest 22 degrees. Pollen level is going to be low, UV level is going to be high, and pollution is going to be moderate. Sunset 21:09, and sunrise for tomorrow morning 05:04 hours. Denzel Prempe, smashing it all there. Adedayo, Adesola, good morning to you. Hope you are doing very, very well. And let me say good morning to Amaya Jirgene, and then to Anthony Adedeji in the USA. Tassino in Moscow. Massive good morning to you all, gentlemen. Let's move on straight to the travels as well. Let me just let you enjoy that song whilst I still bring you the travels. Well, your travel this morning, because it's a hot weather, yes, let me cool it down. Now, Bakerloo and Central Line, well, there are lots of delays there. Bakerloo and Central Lines and District Lines, severe delays. Elizabeth Line, minor delays. Hammersmith and City, suspended. Jubilee, minor delays. London Overground, part suspension and minor delays as well. Metropolitan Line, part suspension and severe delays. Piccadilly Line, minor delays, and all the others, good service there as well. London Trambling, good service. Now when we move on to the major roads in London, yes, A24, A4, A41 Central London Red roads have all got closures there as well. Moving on straight to the river bus as well. I think today it's going to be the best time to travel on the river bus, and yes, today and tomorrow, of course, when it's hot. Now the Woolwich Ferry has got special service. The other side, all the others have got good service there. Now coming on to the National Rail. On the National Rail, lots of cancellations and special services. Now Vanity West Coast have got special service. C2C, Chiltern Railways, Cross Country, East Midlands Railways, First Rise Pennant Express, special service. Gatwick Express has no service. Wow, Grand Central, Great Northern, Great Western Railway, Island Line, London North Eastern Railway, Mersey Rail, Northern Rail, Scott Rail, Southwestern Railway, Southeastern Railway, Southern, Thameslink, and Transport for Wales have all got special service. Well, that is it for you. So if you are traveling on those routes or any of those routes, please check before you leave. Well, it's all coming your way from Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Okay, let me take you straight to the travels as well. Yes, I'm going to bring you some more music. All right, not this one now, no, but let's move on. Let us have a look at some of the stories that will be after this short commercial break.
Tune in to On Point here on Star Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Well, when it comes to global trotting, some of the stories that we'll be looking at 11 o'clock when we have Olayomi Koike, or then after 11 when we have Olayomi Koike joining in. Peter Obi reacts to Adeleke's defeat of Oyetola. Yes, and Showore reacts as Peter Obi, Baba Ahmed, others visit Obasanjo. Well, you know, last week we were talking about, last Friday we were talking about that as well. And then the internet with his reply to, that is, the video breaks the internet with his reply to the president, congratulatory message to his uncle. Well, Osun election, youth destroy Tinubu's campaign billboards. Well, we'll bring you more on that front as well. And then Peter Obi mean well for Nigerians. I don't underestimate him. APC chairman is saying now. Okay, how gender bias hinders our support for women in politics, and Muslim ticket Khan tells Christian ideal candidate to vote in 2023. Vote for who? Okay. Now, audit query, Senate orders arrest of Nimasa Director General, and then Peter Obi sends message to obedience. That's the OBs, yes, those who support him after LP's poor outing in Osun election. Is it a thing? Is it something, a sign of things to come, or what? What do you think about all that? A lot more going to be coming your way from there. When we come your way with updates from Nigeria. When we come to Ghana, well, the ruling party, that is the MPP, went for their what do you call it, elections. Delegates election. A chairman went to me goes mute after John Bredu's overwhelming defeat. And then Stephen Intim speaks like a preacher than a politician, Seku Nkrumah says. And nobody was parting with monies on Congress grounds, Mark Menu says. Well, we know what we say. That never happens. When it comes to African politics, my goodness. Okay, I have become a victim of a sustained political witch hunt, Adwoasafo opines. Now the question is, you're supposed to be in the chamber. At least, if you don't want to be in the ministry that you've been delegated to, then you have to be in the chamber of parliament. But you're not there, you're not saying anything. Well. If you decide to be quiet, you'll be condemned. Now, it's just coming out back fighting. We'll be looking more into those stories as well. Deaths as flood hit Sudan's Darfur region. Some of the stories making the rounds on the African continent as well. And then moving on, top official of South Africa ruling ANC party dies as well. ESCOM assures power cuts to end this week in South Africa. Yes, let me say good morning to Mr. Ebenezer Hammond Chantel. Oh, I hope you are all giving people good insurance there. Yes, insurance policies. Okay, now when it comes to other parts of the world, more evacuations as Mediterranean wildfires spread. Wildfires forced France to evacuate some 16,000 people as Spain, Croatia, and Greece are also hit with it. Now, heatwave forest fires continue in France. There are some of stories making the rounds there. Zelensky suspends security chief and top prosecutor. The Ukrainian president says there have been cases of treason in the two powerful agencies. My goodness, is it time for that? Well, is that the end of Zelensky, or what do you think? We're going to be looking at that. It's Star Radio UK. There's a saying in the Akan dialect, or yes, one of Ghana's saying in Ghana that says that, you don't stand in the midst of red ants to pluck red ants. You get out of it before you do so. But I think that Zelensky's move is the right one. Well, we'll be looking more into that. Okay, take heat seriously and do not travel. Public urged. A red extreme heat warning is in place for parts of England, with temperatures forecast to top 40 degrees or 104 Fahrenheit this week. Well, some are saying that other places are hotter than what we see here. So if we have to we have to man up. We shouldn't be a snowflake generation. Anything when there's a bit of snow, when there's a bit of sunshine. Come Come on, get on with it. Go to some places, go and see. They are still taking on. But someone will tell you that, look, in this part of the world, we don't see certain, so we don't prepare ourselves for certain. So anytime it comes in, it overwhelms us. Do you think that is right or wrong? Do you think that as employers and as employees, you want to be given maybe a hot day off? A hot holiday, maybe tomorrow, because of the temperatures getting up to 40, or this afternoon, everybody will close half day, and then tomorrow no work at all. And then maybe Wednesday we come in. What do you think? Well. People will not want that, but they'll be going to the beaches one day. You catch my drift? Well. It is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. The time now is 10:59. Let's take this musical break, and once we come back, we'll be having Miss Olayomi joining in, with the story that is posted. We'll be discussing that on the updates from Nigeria. But enjoy this one. It's one of the ones that I've just fallen in love with over the weekend. It says, "You don't have to worry. My life is in your hands."
God, hallelujah. Amen. Glory. Actually, what? He always say, actually. That's right. Come on. Never be afraid.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Are you ready to turn it up?
You know that. Always wiping tears. You have a broken heart. Come on, buddy. What you gonna do? Just lift your hands and say, you don't have to worry. You go.
Are you ready to turn it up?
We love best music.
Everybody say, for there's no friend in Jesus. He will forever wipe your tears away. And if your heart is broken, come on, what you gonna do? Just lift your hands and say, I know. Everybody say, I know that I can make it. I know that I can stand. No matter what, come my way. Jesus is my life. My life is in your hand. With Jesus, I can take it. With Him I know. With Him I know I can stand. No matter what, come your way. Come my way. Jesus is my life. My life is in your hand. One more time. With Jesus, I can take it. You will never forsake. With Him I know I can stand. No matter what, may come my way. Jesus is my life. My life is in your hand.
In your car,
At work,
at home,
This is
on your
Starr Radio
smartphone.
UK.
My joy comes in the morning. Yes, you must go. And He said, call the coco sasa. Sasa, my human. My human teacher. No, Lord, go sweet oh. Teacher, baby. Go. Masa, mama. Masa, sase. Go, teacher, amma. My human teacher.
Well, something from the PIWC Odoko, Pentecost International Worship Center in Odoko. Yes, one of the places that I was visiting back in Ghana. Let me say good morning to Cindy Thompson.
Remember.
All right then. I will bring you more of that during the course of the program. So why don't you go away? It is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London, bringing the time now to 3 minutes past the top of the hour. And it's a very, very hot, scorching day here in London, and it's going to be worse than that. But you know what? I can bring you something of joy and fresh breath of air by saying good morning to you, Mr. Olayomi Koike.
Good morning to you. I hope you can hear me back in the studio.
Loud and clear. Loud and clear. How are you doing, sir?
Well, like you've been saying, I'm doing very well, and it's good to be back after a very beautiful weekend and a very, bright, sunny weather. As more weather becomes very hot, we also continue to advise all our listeners in UK to make sure you beef up for the hot weather. I'm doing very well. It is the 18th of July 2022, 4 minutes past 11. It's good to be back again with the team this morning.
Yes. How was your weekend?
Well, it was a fantastic one. As usual, a lot of engagement with our listeners, and also quality time spent with the family as usual. Quite a lot of activities over the weekend. We'll be discussing that. Election was held in Osun State. We're going to be talking about that. And also, as the engagement for the self-determination becomes much more in reality, we're also going to be talking about Nnamdi Kanu this morning, as quite a lot of news from his end. But I'm doing very well. And like I said, it was also a time for a lot of movie. I was watching quite a lot of movie this weekend. Not sure why, but I spent more time on the Netflix, looking at different films that I've probably watched before. The one I'm watching this morning is known as Shooters. I'm not sure why, but I just love, when the action that trails, because there's a lot of action that is happening, especially when you look at Russia, Ukraine, when you look at what is happening in most African countries. But I've been more time relaxing, watching movies over the weekend.
Wow. Listeners, that is Mr. Olayomi Koike for you. What were you doing over the weekend? You want to share with us? Feel free, and we acknowledge you. If you're having a very special day, any special day today, we want to salute you and we want to congratulate you, or whatever you want us to do. We dock our hearts out to you, Starr Radio UK. Now, let me say morning once again to Anthony Adedeji in the US. I hope you are doing very well. Now, let's come to the Osun election that took place over the weekend. Now, what were your predictions? And do you think, what you thought came to pass, or, there was a shocker?
Well, I wasn't shocked, because when you look at a country that is so much divided, and it has never been divided like this, but I think the reason why the division has come up is because of the belief from Nigerians that the APC government was literally coming, to cushion the problems that the PDP did for more than almost 16 years in power. Remember, the PDP were in power for 16 years, and as much as there was a lot of changes that happened during the PDP era, but it doesn't also look like the citizens from especially the states in the southwest were happy. You would have expected a very good turnout in the first place, but maybe because of the agitation for self-determination, that also played a very key role in terms of the numbers of people that came out to vote. But on Saturday, Osun State went for election, and the election was as peaceful, if you want to put it that way. But one thing is, APC have lost out, but it seems that the governor doesn't seem to accept it, because according to the governor, they are still looking into the outcome. INEC have declared a winner, but it seems the governor, as usual, doesn't want to accept the defeat. And what he said is they are studying the result. Some people say it looks like somebody going to a university, maybe he might end up graduate with a PhD, but the president has also congratulated the winner. We don't know what next the governor will be doing. But like I said, the expectation from the self-determination is more Yorubas in the southwest of Nigeria listen to the call of not going to vote yes, you cannot stop the fundamental human right of people to decide whether they will vote or not. But the numbers of those that went to vote became more reduced as against the last one that was held in that state.
Wow, interesting. I don't know whether you will have the privilege of having the figures as to whether the turnout as compared with previous elections. If we can do that, that would be very, very good. But let me say good morning to Olushola Olasukani. Yes, I said good morning, my brothers. Eku Esi Takun. All right. Yes, I hope that I'm doing very well, because I am this, a member of Yoruba Nation. You better put my name down before.
I mean, Ekushe Takun literally means good job to the to the work that you are doing, especially for Starr Radio UK and the rest of the team as well.
Oh, Olushola, thank you very, very much. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. I say to you, don't you go away. Now looking at what happened with the results, and having the president congratulating that is the PDP. Is the PDP that won, right?
Yes, the PDP won. Yes.
Does that put some more momentum in the PDP? And now Tinubu is thinking, whoops, I think I am going to face my Waterloo, my disaster or my fall. I mean, looking at this, what would you call it? If it's this part of the by-election that is determining what is going to happen in the bigger picture. What is the what is going on in both camps?
Well, both camps has been using these election to gauge the expectation in 2023. So the PDP have literally, been able to say that now that the election has been won, it gives them, that the people are prepared, for a change in terms of, the lives of the APC are not given, what is actually needed. You did ask for a kind of a breakdown,
yeah,
and I think we have that here. This election, PDP won with 403,371 to defeat Oyetola, the current governor. That is no longer the governor anyway, because he hasn't even accepted the defeat. APC won 375,000. So you can see that is not even up to 1 million people in the state that literally came out to vote. The Labour Party, which is the Peter Obi, they've come out to say it's still something developing. They will be expecting a better opportunity at the bigger picture, which is the presidential. They actually had about 2,729. The INEC, which is the Independent National Electoral Commission, the returning officer, the Vice Chancellor of the University of Lagos, Professor Oluwatoyin Ogundipe, said, I declare that Ademola Adeleke Jackson Nuruddin have satisfied the requirement of the law, is hereby declared the winner and is returned elected. Now let's go back to 2018, which was the election that almost 4 years ago. APC, as at that time, again, look at the figure, look at the numbers, 255,505. The PDP, 255,023. You can see that there was not much, gap between the APC winning as at this 2018. But when you come back to this year, which was the one that was held yesterday, you can see that there's a big margin from 375 of the APC to 403,000 to the PDP. So that's almost about 25,000 thereabout, gap between them. APC won with about 36.71% in 2018 as against 36.64% of the PDP. The question that a lot of people are then asking is, can even the governor have access to everything using the same 1999 fraudulent constitution that was put together by the military decree? But the question is, there's jubilation. Davido uncle, which is the one that won this election, I think his influence also played a vital role as someone that is well known, across the globe. He was on the ground, he was on the campaign trail, and he has also continued to jubilate for his uncle winning the governorship election. They've been calling him Imole Day, which literally means the light has actually happened. Whether it will happen in reality to those of the citizens of Osun State, we will wait and see before then.
Well, what it's going to be 2023. Would there even be an election there at all? With what is happening, that now the former governor, let me call him, is now saying that, well, he thinks that there's some anomalies that have gone on that they are still studying. What is it going to come out with? Well, Tawhid Olawale says, Ekaro, good morning to every one of you, wherever you are listening to us from. And Prince Abimbola Oshode says, good morning, Mr. Archie and White Lion, watching from US, Yoruba Nation. Now. He wants more now. All right then. Okay, but the question is, are we going to see an election come 2023? With everything that is happening, we'll be monitoring it very, very closely. So be with us, stay with us with every program that Starr Radio brings your way pertaining to Nigeria, and I promise you, we will make sure your voices are heard as well. All right, now let's move on to some of the other stories as well. Now, the president has congratulated the PDP candidate that won that election. Now, does that actually mean that the president is trying to say, look, I am a referee who doesn't side with anybody, but the truth is the truth? Is that what he's trying to play, so that people will have confidence in going to vote at all?
Well, it is his official Twitter handle, the same one that was having issues with Twitter. Everything seems to be back now. About 23 hours ago, this is what the president said. Muhammadu Buhari, I congratulate Senator Ademola Adeleke, the candidate of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, on his victory in the Osun gubernatorial election. The people of Osun have expressed their will through the ballot. This is what democracy is all about. Respect for the will of the people. The successful conduct of the hashtag Osun Decide 2022 is a demonstration of the maturity and the commitment of all stakeholders towards strengthening the integrity of the electoral process in Nigeria. I remain committed to leaving behind the legacy of a credible elections in Nigeria. So it doesn't look like there will be these any changes that will be happening, and if that's going to happen, that means it has to happen at the court of law. But as we speak right now, President have literally congratulate the winner of the Osun election that took place over the weekend. How the APC national chairman is going to react is still something that we have to wait. And likewise, like I said, the governor still says we are looking into the result, but he has not accepted defeat yet.
He better accept defeat, because when the defeat is staring you in the face, you have no choice but to accept it. But well, we're talking about some good old men who want to be president. Okay, we're talking about Tinubu, we're talking about Atiku. Now, information coming through from Osun State talks about the fact that the billboards for Tinubu were destroyed by some youth in in Osun State. Have there been, chastised or anything of the sort? And again, when it comes to Atiku, some viral video has been going, a viral video showing Atiku limping, emergency assisted to wear a car seat belt. Some old folks once again trying to be leaders of Nigeria.
But somebody will also tell you that there is an old folk somewhere in America that is the current president of America. So we should not judge on that. But let me now say these. Yes, some of them are very old, but are they fit is the question we should be asking. Even if they are old, are they fit to run a country that is so divided, and the division is staring on our face on a daily basis, as we are all looking up to whether a 2023 would happen or not. And yes, I've seen the video that Atiku, Atiku has literally, got into his vehicle. You could see the tiredness in him, whether the jet lag or the pressure that they are on. But yes, we could say that an average person should be able to do their seatbelt. But these are Nigerian politicians that will probably want everything to be done on their behalf. So whether his seatbelt is being put together, by one of his aides, remember that even Tinubu himself went to the palace of one of the royal king in Ogun State, and it looks like something was dropping from the back of his, his attire. And you could also tell that the aide that was behind was trying to cover his nose. We're not sure what was happening there. So you can tell that, these are politicians that are very weak, but the weakness in them is eating away, but it doesn't look the same way because the vice president did a surgical operation. It was not in abroad, right there in Lagos somewhere in one of the hospitals, and he has been commended for that. But the question is Atiku Abubakar fit enough to take the mantle of an election that might come true or not is the question that we're asking this morning. This is Star Radio UK. I'll come back to you again in the studio.
Well, listeners, Star Radio UK, let your comments come through. Eniola Aruwo Sere, okay, says good morning, Mr. Koike, and good morning, Eniola. I hope you are doing very, very well. Thank you very much for joining us, as well as many of you who have joined us. This morning show comes your way every weekday from 10 o'clock, where we bring you stories from Sky News, and then we follow with a live in-house live show, and the updates from Nigeria will come your way at 11 o'clock each day. But tomorrow, there's not going to be a program for tomorrow because there's some upgrade work going on. So this afternoon, we're finishing the program at 12:30 instead of 1 o'clock. So just bear with us for that upgrade to take place. But we assure you that Wednesday morning, God willing, we'll be back on air. Yes? All right then. But let's move on. Yomi, we got some of the other stories making the rounds, sir.
Well, let's take a look at, an icon, the late Obafemi Awolowo. One of these quotes from his book, Path to Nigeria Freedom, which was published in 1947, Chief Obafemi Awolowo, 75 years after this quote, Nigeria still remains a mere geographical expression according to this information. Is by far older than Nigeria. The world must now recognize this incontrovertible fact. Nigeria is not a nation. It is a mere geographical expression. They are non-Nigerians in the same sense as they are English, Welsh, or French. The word Nigeria is a mere distinctive appellation to distinguish those who live within the boundaries of Nigeria and those who do not. This is one of the powerful quotes from the late Chief Obafemi Awolowo. One of the first, when we talk about the regional government that took place after the independence, in Nigeria during his own era. Chief Obafemi Jeremiah Oyeniyi Awolowo, GCFR, was a Nigerian nationalist, a statesman who played a key role in the Nigerian independent movement, the First and the Second Republic of the Civil War. The son of a Yoruba farmer, he was one of the true self-made men among his contemporaries in Nigeria. He was born on the March 6, 1909, before the amalgamation of 1914. He died in Ikene, May 9, 1987, and we continue to pray for him and his soul. So now let's come back to more of the other headline that is coming from today's Nigeria update. Delta Ogun accident claim lives is one of the headline. Face off between Aregbesola cost Oyetola re-election, the minister fraction. Actually, Aregbesola was the previous governor before Oyetola took over rather in 2018. But his re-election, according to some fraction, is saying that the minister is also part of those that played that role. Member of the Osun State All Progressive Congress, loyal to the Minister of Interior, where a lot of jailbreak has also occurred, Ogbeni Rauf Aregbesola, have said the state governor, Boyega Oyetola, fight with them cost his re-election. Those who spoke, including the leader of the top Lower Adebiyi, the chairman of Aregbesola faction of the APC, Mr. Razak, and the factional publicity secretary Abiodun Agbola. The INEC had on Sunday declared Senator Ademola Adeleke as the winner of the Saturday governorship election in the state. So you can see the wrangling that happened. Tinubu Shetima ticket, APC picked the best victory combination, says the national chairman, according to the wrangling that is still going on about the Muslim ticket. The national chairman of the ruling All Progressive Congress, Senator Adamu Abdullahi, in an interview in Lagos, speaks on the Muslim ticket of the party and other issues. The APC senator Abdullahi Adamu on Sunday defended the party's Muslim ticket. Adamu, in an interview with one of the media back home, said the party picked the best combination of the aspirant that would take it to its destination. The next headline comes and say, Nigeria at a crossroad and needs prayer, according to CAC. Who are the CAC? The leadership of the Christ Apostolic Church worldwide has called for intense prayers for Nigeria as a panic to saving the nation from precipice. Unless this is done, the future may be clogged with the greater challenges than what it is being witnessed. The Christian body said the president of the CAC worldwide, Pastor Henry Ojo, and Prophet Richard Kolawole of the CAC Ibadan said this on Sunday during the 26th anniversary celebration of the CAC Arogunmi International. So we know that there's a lot of issues happening, but also there's a lot of people that are concerned with the current situation. Let's take two more because of the time this morning, as we're going to be bringing up show on Starr Radio at 12:30 for the upgrade that we have. So I'm just going to take one more before we now come back and then we look at the social media. What is happening? Lagos State commitment to, is one of the headlines. But again, before we go into that, Obi congratulate Adeleke for the election that has just been completed. Lagos State commitment to promotion of financial inclusion. Also, quite a lot of intelligence is coming from those within the intelligent gathering that Lagos should beef up the security because of an unknown danger that is getting closer. As we do know that the prison break that happened in Kuje, the intelligence that got to us yesterday says Lagos State should beef up the security. Also, Alamala, which is one of the military barracks in Abeokuta, the southwest in Ogun State, where the military has been harassing, not just harassing, also information is coming that they have been literally filling up petrol in what we can call a Volvic kind of a bottled water. We are not sure for what purpose. There's no video allowed to be taken, but this was happening inside the Alamala barracks, and we're asking the governor of the state, Dapo Abiodun, to investigate this so that crisis should not occur in the state. Starr Radio UK, I'll come back to you now in the studio.
Well, the latter story is quite scary because if people are filling, we know that if anything, people fill petrol in gallons, but using Volvic water bottles to do that, do they want to use it for what? Petrol bombs? Is that what they want to do? You know when they fill it and they just light it and just throw it. Is that what they intend doing? We're not very, very sure, but we hope that it's not true. We hope that it's not true, and the authorities are doing their diligence on that as well. But let me say good morning to Ganiyu, Suraju, Alabi, wherever you are. Good morning, and a good handshake to you as well. I like that logo and that drawing, the BFFS. Okay, yeah, I'll continue to bring comments in, and I will be reading that as well. Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Somebody sent a question in asking whether there have been any comment from Tinubu's office pertaining to the Osun State election. Has there been any comment from him?
Well, from what I can say, there has not been any news or any update, but we knew he went back to Abuja just after leaving Osun State. But definitely, I'm sure that they are looking into what has actually went wrong or went right, for not winning the election. He was on the ground campaigning fully, with the backing of some of the governors as well. But that could not pull the people. Yes, people that there was a lot of vote buying, and people collected money but still went ahead to vote their choice. Do we blame those that have been kept in abject poverty? I think people were also saying that as APC was putting a little bit, PDP was also topping it up. So there was a lot of vote buying as usual. But the question is, what is Tinubu and his team thinking this morning after losing one of his own state? Because according to information, Tinubu is actually from Osun State himself.
Gosh, yes, that is bad.
And you can tell that it doesn't seem that Buhari wants to interfere with any kind of rigging that could have come from the presidency. So quite a lot of people were arrested also prior before the election took place on Saturday that could have disrupted the whole election process. So it seems the presidency is moving away from anything that could link to the rigging of an election. I'm not sure whether Tinubu will be pleased with that or not, but we haven't had any statement from him.
Well, listen, it's Starr Radio UK. We know that the universities in Nigeria have been on a strike for this while, but a story that is coming through that I want you to verify for us, and it's that the Take It Back movement, led by human rights activist and presidential candidate of the African Action Congress, Omoyele Sowore, has declared its support for the 2-day nationwide protests planned by the Nigerian Labour Congress (NLC) over the ongoing strike embarked upon by the Academic Staff Union of the Universities (ASU). Now, how true is that? And when are the days that have been selected for this strike to take place?
Well, I won't believe in the NLC, and the reason that is my own personal opinion, because these are meant to be, the backbone of a country, just as we have, different, unions.
Yeah.
This is called the Nigerian Labour Congress, for those that might be asking what is the full meaning of NLC. They've literally said there will be a 2-day from tomorrow to Wednesday, a solidarity protest. But I can rest assure you that they can unplug that even at the late hours of the morning of Tuesday, after a kind of money exchange. And Mr. Wahab says the action is in line with the decision of the National Executive Council after 6 months that ASU has been on strike. It is time now that they'll probably think their pocket is getting dry and they just have to do something, because when they go on strike, that means the whole country shut down. But that means they're also looking for the attention of the federal government. So, like I said, we've seen them say there will be strike in the past, and towards the last minute, this is unplugged, and that means everything goes on as smoothly as possible. The NLC president, Ayuba Wahab, said this is circular jointly signed by Emmanuel Igboja, the General Secretary of the Congress, on Sunday in Abuja, according to the news agency of Nigeria Now. Report that the circular, which was issued on the 15th July, was to address the chairperson and the secretariat of the NLC. The Academic Staff Union of the University and other trade unions in the education sector have been on strike for 5 months over alleged failure of this government, the APC, to keep to the agreement entered with the union. The demand of the striking workers include issues bordering on funding of universities, salaries, and allowance of lecturers. Is NLC going to go ahead? I will wait till tomorrow to witness that. Like I said, if they do go ahead, it seems that they are probably changing what expectation Nigerians have been expecting them to do in the first place in the last 5 months of this strike.
Well, what are they going to do? The NLC? Would they like Olayomi, because he said last minute they just pulled the plug and then they said there's no more because somebody's palm has been greased. Now, what do you think? Is that what is going on? And my question has been that for 6 months plus, okay, students have been at home. Is it affecting the academic work? Are they going to say that well, whatever it is, those of you in level maybe 100 move on to level 200? What is going to happen there? What is going to happen? We want to know more about that. But it's all coming away from Starr Radio UK. Let me say good morning to Babatunde Modoyen. I hope you are doing very, very well. Thank you very much for joining us as well. All right, let's go to Yomi for some of the other stories and then what is happening on the social media platform. Over to you, Yomi.
We're just going to go straight to the social media. Catholic Bishop Eze Okafor bemoans killings of a priest across Nigeria and blames the federal government. Is coming on the social media this morning. Let's now look at some of the other things that is trending. Now let's take a look at what Simon Ekpa is saying this morning on his own social media. Featuring among the top 10 most inspiring people in legal service is not my target now. My target and focus now is how to pilot the Biafra exiting Nigeria in 2023 for a lasting peace. Also, those of you doubting our resolve will watch how Nigeria will collapse in 2023. The collapse of Nigeria will save the world from impending danger of terrorism. If Nigeria did not collapse by 2023, it will become the safe haven for terrorists. They stay in Nigeria and attack the West. And when I was looking at the Global Terrorism Index as at yesterday, when I was having a conversation with some of our audience across the globe, and I'm going to put that up quickly, from what we can tell the world this morning, Nigeria still remain on number 6 when it comes to the global terrorism index in the world. Nigeria is standing at number 6 on the global terrorism index out of 163 countries. Afghanistan is on number 1, Iraq is number 2, Somalia is number 3, Burkina Faso number 4, Syria number 5, Nigeria number 6 at 8.233 according to the score. Not a very good one, as Nigeria also remains the capital poverty of the world. Now let's go back again to more of what is trending on the social media this morning. A very sad news as the Nollywood actress Ada Ama dies after admitting struggles with mental illness. A lot of people are going through mental illness. That is trending as number 1 in Nigeria because his death have literally just been announced under the entertainment. The politics is trending at number 2 with about 165,000. And let's take a look at what people are saying when it comes to Osun, which is the trending news in Nigeria this morning. And we're going to look at it at random. Let's look at what Wole Soyinka, Professor Wole Soyinka, again, this is Starr Radio UK, your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. That is Wole Soyinka saying this morning. Bola Ige's voice resound from beyond the grave. Soyinka mocks ruling APC leaders. Who is Bola Ige? Remember we talked about him. He was the Chief Justice of Nigeria that was killed when Obasanjo was in the president as at the time. He was killed in his own in Ibadan, southwest of Nigeria, and up to date nobody has been put to the killing of the situation. Again, 1.68 million people registered to vote. The registered voters is about 1.95, but only 823,000 cast their vote. That was okay. Now I got a comparison. Now let's take a look at it quickly. In 2018, we have 1.68 million registered voters. In 2022, that number went up with 1.95 million. The total people that voted in 2018 in Osun State governorship election was 769,500 as against 823,124,000. So that tells you that even though 1.95 million people registered to vote, not up to 1 million people were there to cast their vote. Could it be because a lot of people are now listening to the self-determination and then asking the real question, who is the Nigerian? As also Obafemi Awolowo says, Nigeria is just a geographical expression. Let's take a look at what some of the lawyers of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, Aloy Ejimako. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is an embodiment of millions who have been pushed by the injustice of Nigerian state to the point of seeking self-determination. So what you have in detention is not one Nnamdi Kanu, but millions of Nnamdi Kanu. You must respect that. That is coming from Aloy Ejimako, one of the lead lawyer from Nnamdi Kanu that have spoken on his Twitter handle. The video is trending, and we know the reason again for that is because the video played a very big engagement during this election. But let's take a look at the Adeleke, the winner of the concluded election in Osun State. What has been the reaction from Nigerians? As we can say, Obi has already congratulated the leader, but the APC is not congratulating as well. As I speak to you right now, from the news that is coming out of Osogbo, thugs loyal to Esco Bat, spearheaded by a notorious Ashiri Aniba, allegedly destroyed shops of the Igbo traders in Osogbo after Adeleke was declared winner yesterday. Indigbo are always taking the fall for every damn thing. This madness has to stop. We can't continue like this. So you can see that the Igbo have been targeted in one of their shops in Osun State. I'm not sure why, because it is not the Igbo that voted Adeleke in. Southwest is a Yoruba land. Yes, we do know that we have other ethnic groups that are living there, but the question is, who is behind this is the question that should be asked. I'm going to take one more, come back slightly quickly back in the studio. Even Chris Brown is also celebrating Adeleke. We know Chris Brown is a close friend to Davido. He has also sent his own congratulatory message as well. So you can see that as much as everybody is congratulating, the governor is not yet surrendering his position as the governor is sitting.
Well, listeners, Mr. Olayomi Koike for you, bringing you updates from Nigeria. It's now gone 11:38. But let me just, this one, I don't want us to discuss it. I'll just mention it because whilst I was looking through the stories, this story about the, what do you call them? The, is it Agbero? The Agbero boys, area boys, they call them, popularly known as Agbero in the Yoruba language, are gangs who coordinate crimes and illicit activities in the street and murder. It's something that was published by one American network. It's talking about Nigerian Lagos gangs terrorizing citizens, extorting transport workers, and wreaking havoc. And it's quite a worrying trend. I'm just asking myself, what is the Lagos state governor doing about that?
Well, you're quite right, and I've actually been able to come across, that myself. We do know that there is a lot of, once again, this is Starr Radio UK, your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. As we talk about it all the time, I mean, there's a lot of crisis happening, not just in one particular state, but as we do know, Lagos State is one state that a lot of people lives in, about 20 million. But we also have a lot of things that are being used to terrorize, the citizens and those that are traveling in there. And like you said, Nigeria Lagos gang terrorize citizens, extort transport workers, and wreak havoc. The question you ask is, what is the Agbero? Is what you're trying to pronounce there. Make life hellish. Agbero are thugs, that are armed by the same politicians. So the hands of the politicians are literally being crippled, because these are the people that have used, to win election, and have become a bone in their neck to take off the street. And we have them, like somebody like MC Oluomo is one of the criminal activities that he plays a vital role, but yet it's backed by the same government in Lagos State. So when you ask the question, what is the Lagos State governor doing? I would say their hands are as full as they can do nothing to some of these powerful Agbero that have now become so powerful, not just in Lagos. We have them in Osun State. We have them also in Ibadan. We have them across Southwest, and we have them also operating in the Northeast and the Southeast as well. These are those that work with the politicians to the teeth.
Wow, it's quite scary. But well, it is Starr Radio UK 11:41. We're going to be running up. But Yomi, before you go,
well, don't go anywhere. Archie is still going to be taking you through the rest of the segment of the other news coming from African countries. But this morning, as we go away, we continue to advise those in Lagos, Ogun State, to be extremely vigilant. If you see anything that is unright, report it to the nearest security operatives before it becomes more big problem.
Well, Yomi, have a lovely day. We'll catch up later.
Bye for now.
Bye. Well, listeners, that was Mr. Olayomi Koike bringing you updates from Nigeria, from our North London studios where he was broadcasting live from. I hope I've read all the comments that have come through. As I promised you that when they come through, I would do that. Aziz Bade Bizerik. Okay, I hope I got it right. Badezirik. Okay, good morning, brother. I hope you are doing very, very well there as well. All right, then we're going to take a quick break. We come back and we'll look at some of the stories making the rounds. But well, enjoy this song as I promised you. I promised you that. But this program finishing today at 12:30. We're going to be having a short time for our Career 101 session as well. So it's going to be a packed one. But stay tuned. Don't you go away.
Always say, Anthony. That's right. Come on. If your heart is broken, come on, buddy. What you gonna do? Just lift your hands and say, you don't have to worry. Don't have to worry. What must say? You go. Joy comes in the morning.
worldwide, online 24/7.
In your car,
at work,
at home,
on your smartphone.
Jesus, my life. One more time. With Jesus, I can take it. With him I know. With him I know I can stand. No matter what. Come your way. Come my way. Jesus, my life. One more time. With Jesus. With Jesus, I can take it. You will never forsake. Come on. I know I can stand. No matter what. May come my way. Jesus, my life is in your hands. Love you guys, all you people. We people in trouble with life. My joy comes in the morning. And you must go. I'm call the
Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
all around the world. In your car,
At work,
at home.
on your smartphone.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Come on. Go all your friends and loved ones. Come on. Hiya. Come on. Everybody. Remember. There's a friend in Jesus. Always one in Jesus. Will wipe your tears away.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Your heart is broken. Everybody, what you gonna do? Just
Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
yeah, yeah. To all your friends and lovers. I know it to be fun. Remember there's a friend. That's the Coco, Sabuse. And if your heart is broken, everybody, what you gonna do? Just lift your hands and say, oh, I know that I can make it. I know that I can stand. No matter what. May come my way. Jesus, my life is in your hands. With Jesus, I can take it.
Well, something from the new song. I know I can make it, I know I can stand. No matter what may come my way. And that's what Starr Radio UK tries to bring your way every day. It is the Monday edition of the morning show. But a special program for today. Because the technical upgrades are going to be taking place at 12:30. PIWC Odoko. A cover version of Kate Franklin's I Know I Can Make It. All my life is in your hands, whichever is appropriate. There is Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now let's move on to some of the stories making the rounds in other parts of the world. But before then, let me say Tunde Jerry, the Yoruba t-shirt being being sold by Heritage. Is it available in US? Okay, Tunde Jerry mean Yoruba Nation t-shirt. He's asking, or the sweater, is it available in the US? So please, if anybody knows where Tunde Jerry can get his hands on that, please get in touch with him and let him know where he's going to get that. All right then, Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. This is a platform where we meet and we are able to share ideas, thoughts, and maybe like Tunde is asking, you can just do that there and we direct you if we have the information, or if we don't, we'll do the necessary investigation to find out how we can help you. Why? Because we are all a family. All right then. Now let's move on to Ghana as well. Well, in Ghana too, there was an election that took place there. Well. Is it the executive elections took place in Ghana for the ruling party? And it was a weekend full of shock and surprises as delegates of the governing MPP decided to dethrone John Wedu as the General Secretary for Justin Frimpong Kodia, known as JFK. Not for the support of all the, let me put it this way, not the support of all the regional chairmen of the parties translated to votes for Wedu to secure a third term as General Secretary. Indeed, one individual who was championing John Wedu bid to be in office for the third was Chairman Wontumi, the Ashanti Regional Chairman. Now, prior to the National Delegates Conference at the Accra Sports Stadium, Chairman Wontumi was bragging about how John Wedu's position was uncontestable. In one of his viral interviews, Wontumi categorically stated that John Wedu's position as a General Secretary was non-negotiable. Anybody who wants to contest John Wedu, then the person wants to pay school fees. He would be in debt, a confident Chairman Wontumi said. But at the Congress grounds, the vociferous MPP chairman got shock of his life and he resorted in speaking with gestures. Now, wearing a yellow shirt with the inscription CW, the Ashanti Regional Chairman was seen pointing into the sky when he was approached by a reporter from one of the networks, and not even contestant persuasion. My apologies. Not even constant persuasion from the reporter made the disgraced chairman utter a word. I mean, he didn't want to. So whatever it is, I'm not going to be speaking. But well, a shocker there as well. Is that virtually bringing a new face to the MPP when it comes to the executives? But what was that going to be? Now, they've got a new chairman as well. And what is that about? After a keenly contested national election held at the Accra Sports Stadium, the new Patriotic Party has elected new National Executive Committee members. Over 6,000 delegates voted at the National Delegates Conference held at the Accra Sports Stadium on July the 16th. Some big wigs lost their position to new ones, while others maintained their positions and the rest won other portfolios. The new elected National Executive Committee members were sworn in on Sunday, July the 17th. I'll do my best to see if I could get all their names for you. Well, the chairman is now Stephen Ayesu in team. And then we have the first national chairman, Dankwa Smith Bute. Yes. And then we have second national vice chairperson, Rita Talata Asobayire. Okay. And then we have the general secretary, Justin Frimpong Kodia. We have some newly elected executives, the national organizer Henry Nana Buachi, and then national women's organizer Kate Jemfua. We got on. We have Nsara coordinator Abdul Aziz Haruna Futa. We have national youth organizer Salam Mustafa, and then the national treasurer Dr. Charles Dramina. So these are the latest list of executives for the MPP. But would them change their fortunes when it comes to the elections 2024? What do you think? We'll be bringing you more on that front. It is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Current economic crisis due to reckless election expenditure mismanagement. That is what the former president John Dramani Mahama seems to be saying. And let me bring you that story quickly, and then we move on. Former President John Mahama has launched a scathing attack on the Kufuor administration, blaming the country's present economic situation on government failure to exhibit contribution and sobriety amid the current crisis. He attributed the worsening debt situation to reckless election-related expenditure, mismanagement, ineptitude, and the lack of proper leadership being demonstrated by the current leadership of the economy. Speaking at the closing ceremony at the retreat for the minority caucus in Parliament, Mr. Mahama stated that the governing party has exhibited that it cannot resolve governance Ghana's economic crisis. Now, present economic situation stems from reckless election-related expenditure, mismanagement, ineptitude, and lack of proper leadership. It says the highest form of irresponsibility is to shift responsibility to others, and irresponsible leaders are simply not worth the mandate of the people. But when it comes to the elections, are people going to see the same way that the former president is saying, or they are still going to be held in their own corner once again? It is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Let's move on straight to other parts of the world. Let's look at what is happening there on the African continent. As I did say, well, climate change. Deaths as floods hit Sudan, Darfur area, and under pressure from climate change, Morocco's oasis struggle to support life. Well, so this climate thing that seems to be going on, what do we do about it all? Well, it is Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. But one detailed story: 2 bridges were blown up by armed groups in Burkina Faso on Friday night by suspected jihadists in the West African nation. The fighters blew up 2 crucial bridges, raising fears that they intend to isolate the Sahel region. The attackers destroyed the Wosi Bridge, forcing a convoy that was supposed to supply the town of Djibo to return to Kangosi. They also blew up again the Nari Bridge, further disrupting transport in the area. The bridge was attacked for the first time on June the 30th, but work was carried out to allow people to continue using the road before being blown up again Friday night. According to testimonies and images posted on social network, it is now practically impossible to get from the capital to Dori. The other bridge affected is one that is located in the locality of Wosi on the Kongozi Bozanga Road in the central north of Burkina Faso. The destruction of part of this structure forced the convoy carrying supplies to the town of Djibo to turn back. The convoy was escorted by defense and security forces. According to some NGOs, the roads linking Niamey and Ouagadougou, the main routes for imports and exports to the Gulf of Guinea country, are no longer secure. Wow. In these challenging times, and that is going on, and you live in that part of the world, what can you actually even do on that front? But it's all coming away from Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Bringing the time now to 4 minutes to 12. As I said earlier on, because of technical upgrades going to take place, we'll finish the program at 12:30, and tomorrow morning there's not going to be any program at all. But hopefully, with the temperatures and everything, we'll have our technical team being able to work assiduously, and then Wednesday morning we'll bring you the morning show. But for sure, I can tell you that the Niger Voices will be taking place on the Wednesday night, as it does every time, 18 hours BST. But let's move on to some other stories making the rounds. Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now, when it comes to other parts of the world, some of the stories making the rounds there. This pertains to Zelensky's Ukraine war. Zelensky suspends security chief and top prosecutor. And my question is, why at this time? President Volodymyr Zelensky has suspended the head of Ukraine's spy agency, the SBU, and the prosecutor general, citing many cases of treason in the two powerful organizations. He said more than 60 former employees were now working against Ukraine in Russia-occupied areas. A total of 651 collaboration and treason cases have been opened against law enforcement officials, he added. The officials, even Bakanov and Irina Venditova, have not commented. In a video address late Sunday, Mrs. Zelensky said Such an array of crimes against the foundation of the national security of the state pose very serious questions to the relevant heads of the two organizations. Now, each of these questions these questions will receive a proper answer, the Ukrainian president added. In a later appearance on Ukrainian TV, Andriy Smirnov, one of Mr. Zelensky's top advisors, clarified that the officials have not been fired as initially suggested, but merely removed pending an investigation. In order to prevent the potential influence of these two officials on criminal proceedings which are being investigated in related to SBU employees who are suspected of cooperation with the aggressor country, the same applies to the prosecutor's office. The president made appropriate decision, Mr. Smirnov said there. The rural SBU chief Ivan Bakanov, a childhood friend of Mr. Zelensky, follows the high-profile arrest of a former SBU regional head in Crimea, annexed by Russia in 2014. Ole Kulinch is suspected of treason. Now, everyone who together with him was part of a criminal group that worked in the interest of the Russian Federation will also be held accountable, Mr. Zelensky said. It's about the transfer of secret information to enemy and other facts of cooperation with the Russian special services. There is a saying again in the Ghanaian Pallien about Bekawa nephew. If you're going to be bitten by any animal or any insect, it will be one that is hidden within your clothing, and that is what normally happens. Well, how true is that? Well, but if your own camp, if things are falling apart and the center cannot hold, what can be done about this? It is a quite scary situation that is going on in Ukraine. But what do you think? It is All Star Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Is it the end for Ukraine? Is there an end for Zelensky? If there are people who are, as I say all the time, chukoko in him, then what is the way forward? It is Star Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. In Pakistan, former Prime Minister Imran Khan urges election after standing Punjab poll win. The former Pakistani Prime Minister Imran Khan has again called for early election after a stunning by-election upset saw his party take control of a crucial provincial assembly. His PTI party won 15 of the 20 seats up for grabs in Punjab, beating their arch rivals, the PML, and on their own home ground. The result is being seen as a foretaste of what could happen in a general election due by October 2023. Now, Mr. Khan was ousted as Prime Minister in a no-confidence vote in April. The result in Punjab is a major blow for current Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif, who leads the PML and his coalition government in power nationally. The party won just 4 of the seats, holding by election, with one going to an independent candidate. Now, Punjab, Pakistani's most populous province, has long been a bastion of support of the PMLN of Mr. Sharif and his older brother, 3 times former Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif. Now, Mr. Khan has attracted thousands of Pakistani Tehreek-e-Insaf supporters to rallies since being ousted. Taking Punjab show he is still a major electoral force to be reckoned with. The only way forward from here is to hold free and transparent elections, the former cricket star tweeted on Monday. Any other way will only lead to increased political uncertainty and further economic chaos. Now, many media reports in Pakistan suggested that voters in Punjab wanted to send a message to the country's leaders about the economic hardship they are facing. Prices are soaring as the government tries to tackle a foreign debt crisis inherited in large part from Imran Khan's administration. Mr. Khan blames a US-led foreign conspiracy for his removal as Prime Minister. Washington has denied the claim. Now, why? Bob Marley says in his song, so much troubles in the world. It is Star Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Well, a plane crash has taken place. Where did it take place? It is in Somalia. Plane flips over after crash landing in Somalia. That is quite scary. That is quite scary. Looking at pictures of it, and the information came in about 34 minutes ago. A plane has crashed and flipped over on landing at the airport in Somalia's capital, but there were no fatalities among the more than 30 people on board. Dramatic footage shot near the airport in Mogadishu shows thick black smoke rising above the crash site. Now, firefighters doused the flame, and pictures from the scene show the plane upside down. It belonged to the Juba Airways, and it was an internal flight from the city of Baidoa to the capital, officials have said. Now, how plausible is that? How often do you see a plane crash and then you see the plane flip? Unless, of course, it was by what do you call it? In a valley or by a mountainside or something of the sort. But the passengers and the crew were all rescued according to the airport authorities quoted, and we say well done to the rescue team. And but we'll be following very, 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 very closely. It did happen 9:15 a.m. That's today. Wow. It's all Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. One other story from the world front, and then we'll move on from there. Well, this time, now Ghana has confirmed its first cases of deadly Marburg virus. And what is that? So those of you who have traveled that way, please check it out. Now Ghana has confirmed its first 2 cases of a deadly Marburg virus, a highly infectious disease in the same family as the virus that causes Ebola. It says both patients died recently in hospital in the southern Ashanti region. Their samples came back positive earlier this month and have now been verified by a laboratory in Senegal. Now, health officials in the West African nation say 98 people are now under quarantine as a suspected contact cases. The World Health Organization, which is supporting the country's health authorities, has praised the Ghana's swift response. Now, this is good because without immediate and decisive action, Marburg can easily get out of hand, said Dr. Mashidiso Moeti, the World Health Organization Africa Director. No treatment yet exists for Marburg, but doctors say drinking plenty of water and treating specific symptoms improves a patient's chance of survival. The virus is transmitted to people from fruit bats and spreads between humans through the transmission of bodily fluids. It is a severe, often fatal illness with symptoms including headache, fever, muscle pain, vomiting blood, and bleeding. Officials are warning people to keep away from capes and thoroughly cook all meat products before consuming them. This is the second time that Marburg has been identified in West Africa. There was one confirmed case in Guinea last year, but the outbreak was declared over in September, 5 weeks after the case was identified. Elsewhere on the continent, previous outbreak and sporadic cases have been reported in Angola, Democratic Republic of Congo, Kenya, South Africa, and Uganda. The World Organization has said the virus killed more than 200 people in Angola in 2005, the deadliest outbreak on record according to the Global Health Body. The first ever Marburg outbreak was in Germany in 1967, where 7 people died. The virus killed more than 200 people in Angola. As I did say, the deadliest outbreak on record according to the Global Health Body. It is now 7 minutes past 12 o'clock. It is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. So looking at some of the other story that's made the rounds in other parts of the world. But remember, the program is finishing exactly at 12:30. I will not bring you Career 101 because of the short time that we have. So we're going to be looking into other stories making the rounds. Now, Greece plane crash. A cargo aircraft was carrying weapons to Bangladesh. That's what a minister is saying there. A cargo plane which crashed in northern Greece was carrying 11 tons of weapons, including landmines, to Bangladesh officials have said. Now, people living within 2 kilometers of the site where the Antonov 12 came down and have been warned to stay indoors. The aircraft was flying from Serbia to Jordan, where it crashed. When it crashed late on Saturday close to the city of Kavala, killing all 8 people on board. Eyewitness video showed the plane on fire and a huge fireball as it crashed. Now, drones were used to survey the site of the wreckage out of caution, while Greek state TV reported the army, explosive experts, and Greek Atomic Energy Commission staff were not approaching the site until it was deemed safe. The air measurement at the moment have not shown anything, but nonetheless, instability in the field was observed. Lieutenant General Marios Apostolidis of the Northern Greece Fire Brigade said to reporters, in other words, intense smoke and heat, as well as a white substance that we do not recognize, so a special armed forces team has to inform us what it is and whether we can enter the field. Well, so much happening in a period where we are facing untold and a quantum of heat hitting the world. Well, heat warnings. Now, warnings of heat apocalypse in France. So if you are embarking on going to holidays in France, please disembark. Is there anything of the sort? Now, authorities in Western France are warning of a heat apocalypse in 15 regions as a heat wave continues to blanket much of Europe. Now, temperatures could reach record levels in the southwest of the country, with firefighters battling wildfires and thousands forced to evacuate. Now, blazes in Spain, Portugal, and Greece have forced thousands more to flee. Now, record temperatures are also expected in parts of the UK, which has its first ever red extreme heat warning in place. Wildfires in France in recent days have forced over 16,000 people to flee the area, with emergency shelters set up for evacuees. Now, Gironde, a popular tourist region in the southwest, has been hit particularly badly, with the firefighters battling to control fires which have destroyed over 14,000 hectares of land since last Tuesday. The heat wave has prompted warnings of what one meteorologist described as an apocalypse of heat in some areas of the south. It is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Let's take a break, and once we come back, I'll be taking you to the UK, where it's all unraveling. Tourists have abandoned leveling up. That's what Labour is saying. Ban for police was caught speeding 5 times, and Tory TV debate shelved amid infighting concerns. Now, temperatures rising rapidly as over 40 degrees predicted. Brace yourself. Okay, stay tuned. Don't you go away. Let's take a quick break. We come back and we continue with the show.
All ladies, you are invited to our premier 13th annual Women's Conference, Lady to Lady Global Conference 2022. Theme, Joy. Date, Saturday, 30th July. Doors open at 11 a.m. Venue, Fairview's Concert Halls, the Phoenix Theater, Croydon, CR91DG3, United Kingdom. Register on www.ladytoladyglobal.org. Music Minister, CLC Healing Voices. Simeon. Queenie, Ada Ahe. Congratulations, I have seen the glory of God. Conference speakers, Reverend Betty King, Pastor Marjorie, Pastor Sandra.
I did come to Lady, and from that day onwards, my life has never been the same.
See you there.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Welcome back to the program Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Yes, let me open the lines. I've got about another 16 minutes to bring the program to a close before the technical team takes over. But if you want to call at 0208-133-2257 or 580208-133-2257 or 58. You happen to be in the US, Canada, the Caribbean area, blah, blah, blah. Yes, call us on 001-303-27. 001-718-303-2737 001-718-303-2737. You can text or WhatsApp us as well. It is 07539661744 07539661744. Our Twitter handle is Starr Radio UK and email address is info@starradiouk.com. Wherever you are, just make sure you stay tuned and call in and share your take with us whilst we are still on. All right then. So let's move on straight to some of the other stories making the rounds here in the UK, and then we can bring the program to a close. Now, over the weekend, we were supposed to have had a continuation of the debate, the TV debate. I think one was supposed to take place on Sunday, but it was called off. Now, the next live TV Tory leadership debate has been cancelled after the host Sky News and it said Rishi Sunak and Liz Truss declined to take part. The two contenders clashed repeatedly during a debate on Sunday over each other's economic plans and record in office. It comes amid concerns in the Tory party about the infighting in the contest. The five remaining candidates face another round of voting among Tory MPs later to stay in the race. It is understood that the Foreign Secretary Liz Truss wants to focus on hustings sessions between fellow Conservative MPs. A source close to frontrunner and ex-Chancellor Mrs. Sunak said, "We are very happy to do more debates if we are lucky enough to get the next stage." Now, the announcement follows Sunday's heated debate on ITV, which laid bare divisions between Mrs. Sunak, Ms. Truss, and Trade Minister Penny Mordaunt over how to run the economy. Now, Ms. Truss attacked tax rises introduced by Mrs. Sunak when he was Chancellor, whilst he accused her of peddling something for nothing economics. Now, along with fellow contenders Kemi Badenoch and Tom Tugendhat, the trio had been invited to take part in a live debate on Sky News. That's on Tuesday. It's understood that neither Mr. Sunak nor Ms. Truss had confirmed they will take part in the event, which was due to be hosted by presenter Kay Bailey. Now, Mr. Sunak is in pole position to secure a place in the final two places after MPs finish their voting rounds this week, after which around 660,000 party members will pick the winner in the postal ballot. Ms. Mordaunt, who finished second last time, is locked on an increasingly bitter battle with third place Mistrust to secure a place in the runoff. So, well, if you follow the debate, how did you see it so far? How did you see it so far? Some are saying that Miss Madhand is a featherweight. Now, she's not got the facts, she's not got the acumen, let me put it that way, to be a prime minister. Okay, somebody say, what about Bojo? Yeah, he's cool. There's not even at meetings, some of the meetings he wouldn't attend. He just get on with it, blah, 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 and then you get on with it. But what do you think about what these contenders are doing? And do you think who do you think can be the best one for you? But well, the Labour Levelling Up Shadow Minister Secretary has said that the Tories have abandoned the Levelling Up. Now, why are they saying that? Now that they're just in the campaign strategy, just after the by-elections, the two by-elections that they Conservative lost, the Prime Minister, Prime Minister Boris Johnson came out to say that the levelling plan agenda is still going to go on. They're going to see to implement stuff like that. But the Conservatives have ditched their levelling up agenda to tackle regional inequalities. Now, Labour will say as it unveils a policy to help local groups buy assets in their area. Now, Shadow Levelling Up Secretary Lisa Mandy is expected to say promises made with a bang are fading with a whimper. She will also announce plans to give community groups first refusal on buying local buildings such as pubs. The Levelling Up Department has been contracted for a response. The Conservative policy of Levelling Up aims to close the gap between rich and poor parts of the country, which the Institute of Physical Studies says are greater in the UK than other comparable countries. It formed a key part of Boris Johnson's general election campaign in 2019, which saw the Tories win seats in traditional Labour strongholds in the Midlands and the north of England. In his resignation speech on the 7th of July, Mr. Johnson said that while genius and talent and enthusiasm were eventually distributed through the population, opportunity was not. What do you think? It's Labour trying to just cut the straws and maybe try to shake themselves from being overrun by what is going on in the Conservative Party at the moment. What do you think? It is Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. We've got about another 10 minutes to bring the program to a close. A sad story here. A body has been found after a 13-year-old boy went missing in River Tyne. A 13-year-old boy has died after going missing in the River Tyne in Northumberland. Emergency services were alerted at about 16:15 BST yesterday following the incident near Ovingham. Now, rescuers launched a search operation, and Northumbria police have now confirmed the body has been found in the water. The youngster's family have been informed, and they were being supported by specialist family liaison officer. Detective Chief Inspector Martin Brooks described the outcome as absolutely tragic. He said, sadly, after extensive searches carried out in the river yesterday afternoon and evening, a body has been found, and we believed it to be the male who was reported missing. May his soul rest in perfect peace. But in these times where the weather is that hot, we want to admonish every one of you to be very, very careful. Don't let the hot weather go into your head and make you behave in an untoward way. All right then. Well, Starr Radio UK, we're going to bring the program to a close pretty soon. Well, train speeds limited over track battling heat waves. So if you are embarking on a route thinking that it's going to be and then you are there, be rest assured there's going to be delays there. Now, railway speed restrictions have been brought in across most of England and Wales as record temperatures could affect the safety of steel tracks. Now, trains will mostly be limited to speeds of 90 miles per hour, down from 100 miles per hour or 125 miles per hour, while some will go as slow as 20 miles per hour. It's like driving in some part of London. You have to just slow down. My goodness. The Met Office has issued a a red extreme heat warning in England with amber warnings in Scotland and Wales. Now, when it still gets very hot, for those of you who don't know a bit of science there, yet it expands and tracks can bend, flex, and in serious cases buckle, Network Rail has said. It advised only essential travels, and one journey will take significantly longer than usual with more chance of cancellations. Now, those who do not travel are advised to wear who do travel are advised to wear cool clothes. Now, take handheld fans and ensure they have plenty of water, it said. Now, many train companies will be running reduced timetables, and passengers are being advised to check before they depart. The RAC monitoring group has also warned some roads could melt as a result of the heat. Now, speed limits for trains are brought in when temperatures soar, are still railway absorb heat easily and tend to be around 20 degrees above the surrounding air temperature. Oh my goodness, oh my goodness. Well. So what are we going to be seeing? Services on the West Coast main line will be limited to 90 miles per hour, and operators Avanti West Coast warning there will be far fewer journeys on Monday and Tuesday. Customers with advance tickets for travel on Monday and Tuesday who chose not to travel are entitled to a full refund via their point of purchase. All right then. So it's all coming your way from Starr Radio UK. It's your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London, bringing the time now to 12:24. And as I said, I'm bringing the program to a close for the Upgrade West to commence. And I promise you tomorrow, there's not going to be, I promise you Wednesday morning, God willing, we'll be bringing you a live show. But tomorrow, technical team will be doing technical work, and this commencing this afternoon, and hopefully keeping fingers and everything crossed. Yes. Hopefully by close of tomorrow, it will all be done, and the Wednesday will be up and running. Well, take the heat seriously. That is what the Met is saying. It says that the UK is gearing up for what could be its hottest day in history, with temperatures forecast to top 40 degrees. As of 11 a.m., temperatures have reached or surpassed 32 degrees in 3 locations in England. Rachel in Essex is the warmest at 32.3 degrees. England is under its first ever red warning for extreme heat, meaning even the fit and healthy are at risk of injury or death. So the red warning covers an area including London, Leeds, Birmingham, Cambridge, Manchester, and York, and tomorrow as well. And York today and tomorrow. Amber warnings are also in place for the rest of England, Wales, and the south of Scotland. Now, railway passengers have been told not to travel unless essential. Some schools are also closed, and there are warnings about pressure on hospitals. A heat wave is also sweeping across Europe, causing devastating wildfires and evacuations. So those of you who smoke and then light destroying the ends of the cigarette, or the cigarette, and not putting it on by just throwing by the place, this is from doing that. It could cause fire. But wherever you are, I want to say thank you for welcoming me to your homes, in your cars, in your offices, wherever you are listening to us from today. And I say, take good care of yourself. Have a wonderful day. And tomorrow, try to get some cold drinks and keep very cool as much as you can. Get yourself bottles of water. And then get yourself a hand fan if you can. Yes, or when you're driving, turn your ACs on and cool down a bit. What about that? All right then, it's with me, Archie, saying have a top of the day. But whatever it is, yes, the timeless Dimapur Negoland are saying that don't worry and be happy. When that song ends and you don't hear from me, then it's with me, Archie, saying have a top of the day. Bye bye for now.
This is Starr Radio.
Are you ready to turn it up? around the world.
The best radio show. Thanks for listening. Thanks for listening. Thanks for listening. Thanks for listening.
Don't worry. Be happy. In every life we had some trouble. When you worry, you make it double. Don't worry. Be happy. Don't worry, be happy. Don't worry. Be happy. Don't worry, be happy.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for listening.
Ain't got no place to lay your head. Somebody came and took your bed. Don't worry. Be happy. Yeah, the landlord says your rent is late. They have to litigate. Don't worry. Be happy. Don't worry, be happy. Don't worry. Be happy.
Turn it on. Turn it up.
Don't worry, be happy.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for listening. Thanks for listening. Thanks for listening.
In your car,
At work,
at home.
on your smartphone.
This is Starr Radio UK.